Hey guys, so today I'm filming my Hit It or Quit It Thoughts on Hauls number 25. If you guys have never seen this video from me before, I'll have my playlist linked down below. And basically, I will be reviewing all of the products I featured in a haul from about 10 months back and letting you know my current thoughts on those products. My inspiration for this series was It's Kirsten and her What I Thought on Stuff I Bought series. I'll have her channel and her playlist linked down below. Please make sure you go check her out. I will also have linked down below the original haul video, and I will list and link all the items that I'm mentioning. First, I had purchased two Lorac items from Ulta. They were 40% off for 1 week. I'm not sure why. They were never discontinued or anything, but I will not complain about a sale. So I purchased the Lorac Porefection Mattifying Face Primer and the Lorac Porefection Concealer in the shade PC2 Light. I am currently using this face primer. This does an okay job at mattifying. Really, it just has a fantastic texture. It is a little bit more silicone-y, which I really enjoy. I know people say that it isn't the best for oily skin, but I love the texture. It just feels so smooth and it makes my makeup go on a lot smoother. So this primer isn't holy grail, but it is one of my favorite primers that I've tried. This tube is going to last me a million years, so I am really happy that I purchased this, but I'm not sure if I would repurchase it. And then I had the concealer. This is a very full coverage satin finish concealer. This is one of the best concealer shades that I've ever been able to find for me. It is very fair and very yellow. I like using this on my cheeks to help cancel out redness because it has so much coverage. Most of the time with foundation, I'll put a whole layer on my face and then the redness on my cheeks is still showing through. So instead of applying a second layer of foundation, I will apply foundation to my cheeks, or I will apply this product. I don't use this as much as I should because I know this would really work for me, so I need to pull it out and keep this in my monthly makeup basket to use it more. Again, I do like it. It's a nice formula. It's a fantastic color, but I'm not sure if I would repurchase it. I don't think I'd get either of these full price, but if they ever come up for 40% off again, I would recommend you guys check them out. Then I had purchased two more primers from Ulta. This was during their 21 Days of Beauty, and this was the only sale that I was actually interested in. These are the Bare Minerals Prime Time Primers. I purchased the Neutralizing and the Oil Control. I had heard really fantastic things about these, especially from Samantha Riley and Casey Holmes, and honestly I don't really love them. I tried using the Neutralizing today, which is just a yellow tinted primer, and I feel like it didn't make any sort of difference. It didn't tone down my redness at all. It does go on nice. It is like a lotion texture, but it doesn't do the one thing that it's supposed to do, so I don't like this. I will probably try to use it up. But yeah, I definitely would not repurchase this. I do not feel like it does anything at all, so I wouldn't recommend it either. If you have redness and you think this is going to be a solution for you, I don't think so personally. Then I have the Oil Control Primer. This is okay. It is a little more sticky, but it isn't thick. It is a gel consistency that does blend out pretty well. This is okay for oil control. I do like the Lorac better because I like the texture more. Again, I'm going to try to work through this or give it to my sister. She has oily skin, but these are okay, but definitely not amazing. I would not repurchase either of these for sure. The next couple items I have are all from Catrice. Catrice is a brand that has been sold in many countries overseas, but not in America. So about a year ago, they started selling some of their products at Ulta, which is so exciting. Since then, they have added more products to the collection they have at Ulta, which is really exciting and such a great opportunity for us to be able to try makeup brands from different countries. The first item I have is the Catrice All Matte Plus Shine Control Foundation in the shade 010 Light Beige. I also had the Catrice Prime and Fine Mattifying Waterproof Powder. This is a translucent shade. I had one of the Liquid Metal Shadows, and We Are the Champagnes. I had the Velvet Matte Shadow in Owl Burgundy. And because I spent $15 on Catrice products, I did receive a free gift. That was the Catrice Ultimate Lash Multimizer Mascara, which I no longer have. Starting with the foundation, I do have a first impression demo on this product. I will have it linked up here. This product was featured in my top 15 disappointing products of 2015. I was hella disappointed with this foundation. It claims to be full coverage. It was light buildable to medium. That was the most I could get. It also is supposed to be a shine control foundation. No, I got very, very oily throughout the day, and even after blotting, about an hour later, I was extremely oily again. I had to blot so much with this foundation, which was so disappointing because this claims to be shine control foundation. The only claim that actually worked for me was long lasting. Even though I was really, really oily, the makeup did not break up on my skin. So this is long lasting, but if I look like a grease ball, maybe I don't even want it to last all day. Also, there are only 5 shades in the range, which is absolutely terrible. I do have the lightest shade, which is too dark, too pink, and it oxidizes. I have only ever had a couple foundations oxidize on me. Usually the CoverGirl foundations do, and I just can't work with that because even if I use a mixer and I get the color right for me, if it gets darker a couple hours later, then what's the freaking point? So I definitely do not like this foundation. I do not recommend it. I have heard from some people that they think the European version is actually a different formula than the US version, and I really hope so, because if you guys in Europe are able to get a great foundation, I'm really happy for you, because I think this is absolutely terrible. I am so disappointed with this. I am definitely not going to be finishing it up. I am probably going to try to give this to someone if they would be interested in trying it out, or otherwise I'm just going to toss it. But really disappointed in this foundation. And I do have a review video of all the Catrice products that I tried, so I will link that up here as well in case you want more in-depth reviews on all of these products. So the next product is the Catrice Prime and Fine Mattifying Waterproof Powder. Those are some pretty good claims. This is a translucent powder. It's not the smoothest ever, but it does go on the skin nicely. I was using this as a touch-up powder. I never tried using this to set my face because I prefer using colored powders to set my face. This did mattify, but then 30 minutes or an hour later, I was oily again. So I had to reapply this so much that this doesn't do a really good job of mattifying. Yeah, you mattify me that second, but I don't have the time to mattify every freaking 30 minutes. The best touch-up powder I have ever used is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I have to touch up every couple hours, but not every hour on the hour like I do with this powder. So I think I'm going to try to use it up because I go through powders relatively quickly, but I definitely was disappointed in this one, and I would not recommend it if you are extremely oily. I would pick the Rimmel Stay Matte over this one. Then I had their Liquid Metal Shadow, and We Are These Champagnes. It is a beautiful color. I absolutely love the packaging. This looks way better in the pan than it does on the eye. When you put it on the eye, it is not that metallic. It is more of a light shimmery shadow, so it doesn't look as special and as unique. This shadow is okay. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I definitely would not go out and purchase any more shades, and this is something I never ever reach for. Then I have the Velvet Matte Shadow in the shade Al Burgundy. I was so excited for this because I love burgundy shades. This is nice and pigmented. It isn't too powdery or crumbly, but when you apply it on the eye, I do not like the way that it looks. It looks super muddy and patchy. When I apply this in my crease, it does not look good whatsoever. Also, it does not show up this burgundy color. It's like a muddy browny purple color. It does not show up this beautiful shade. So because of that, I'm not going to try out any more of these shadows, and I wouldn't recommend them because I was really disappointed with the way that it looked on the eye. The Catrice Ultimate Lash Multimizer Mascara honestly is basically the CoverGirl Outlast Volume Mascara, the one in the orange tube. They're super duper similar in both packaging and formula, so if you already have the CoverGirl, you do not need the Catrice. Overall, I was very disappointed with the Catrice products that I tried, and I have not purchased anything from the line since, and I don't think I'm going to unless I hear people rave about a certain product. I was really disappointed. I wish I could have returned all these things, but I have them in my collection, but I don't reach for any of them. Next, I had a whole bunch of things from ColourPop. I had 3 of their Ultra Matte lips, which were supposed to be limited edition, but they've been added to the permanent line like forever ago, so definitely am not bummed about that. I have the shade Clueless, Beeper, and Kapow. Clueless is one of my ColourPop must-haves. I did mention it in my ColourPop must-have video that I will link up here as well. This is the most beautiful dusty mauve pink ever. This is the old formula of the Ultra Matte Lips, which I really enjoy. Fully opaque, very pigmented. It is very long lasting. It does feel drying on my lips, but I don't really mind it. I absolutely love this shade and the way that it looks on my skin. The other shades I have are Beeper and Kapow. So many people rave about these shades and I do not love them on me as much. Beeper is a light warm brown. Kapow is a light gray brown. These look really pretty on other people, especially people that have more of a tan skin tone, but on my fair skin, I don't know if I love these shades. I'm going to try to wear them this fall and really decide whether I want to keep these or give them to somebody else. I like the formula, but these shades are definitely out of my comfort zone, and I don't know if they look flattering on me. Here's a swatch of Beeper, and here's a swatch of Kapow. Then I had purchased a ton of products from their fall collection, which was inspired by the 90s grunge, which was super exciting for me because I was a child in the 90s. I wasn't a teen, so I never really got to wear the cool clothes and makeup. So the fact that it was coming back in style was super exciting for me to actually be able to rock it. I did an entire video on this ColourPop fall collection. I'll have it linked up here. In that video, I show you swatches and comparisons to other ColourPop products. I had purchased both of the blushes from the collection. I have the shade Cruel Intentions, which is a matte finish. And I have the shade Never Been Kissed, which is also a matte finish. I think these colors are absolutely beautiful. I definitely plan on wearing them this fall season, but I do not love the ColourPop blushes. I am not going to be purchasing any more because the formula is not that easy to work with, especially the mattes. They are just so much of a stiff texture that it's really hard for me to pick them up on a brush. I just have to run the brush back and forth like really intense so I can get the color on. But the satin formula is way easier to work with. The mattes are a lot tougher. These are pretty shades and I will use them in the fall, but I wouldn't recommend that everyone goes out and buy ColourPop blushes because they aren't the easiest formula to work with. Then I had purchased 6 of the eyeshadows. 3 of them I like and 3 of them I don't really care for. Starting with the 3 that I like, I have Boy Band, which is a pearlized finish. This was featured in my ColourPop must-haves. I have Central Perk, which is a matte finish. This is a beautiful burgundy purple shade. And I have Plaid, which is a matte finish. This is a deep olive green color that has a little bit of gold sparkle in it. Then for the 3 I don't really care for. First I have Stereo, which is a metallic finish. This is so stunning in the pan, but it does not show up well in a swatch or on the eye. It doesn't have much of a base to it. You really just get that glitter, so it looks patchy and uneven. I definitely like this shade the least. Mixtape is a pearlized finish, and this is just a bland silver gray. It's a weird mixture. It isn't really shiny enough, so this doesn't do a ton on the eye. Maybe if you had more of a tan skin tone, this would show up to be more intense, but on my fair skin, it doesn't really flatter me. Party Time is a matte finish. This one's not terrible, but it looks too much like concrete on me. Again, this isn't the most flattering color for my skin tone. I really do love the ColourPop eyeshadow formula overall. My favorite finishes are the pearlized and the ultra metallics. I do like several of the other shades and finishes as well. I'm not even sure which of these shades are still available. They have discontinued some and they have kept some around. I know they have discontinued Boy Band, which is so upsetting because that is my absolute favorite shade out of all of them. I also really like Plaid. Central Perk is just okay, but Boy Band and Plaid are definitely my favorite shades from this collection. I really wish I loved all 6 of the shades. Unfortunately, I do not, but I am really happy with the ones that I have and love because I love them a lot. Then I purchased 2 of the 6 Lippie sticks. I did end up purchasing 1 more in the next month haul, so you'll see that coming up soon. But the shades I have here would be Oh Snap and Contempo. These are both matte finishes. All of the Lippie sticks in this collection were matte. The first shade I have is Oh Snap, which is a light beigey nude. I don't know if you can tell, but the actual lipstick is different shade than the packaging. If it was this color of the packaging, I would love it because it has more of a pink tone to it. But the actual lipstick is like a beigey nude. It just looks really weird on my skin tone, so I definitely do not like this color on me. The other shade I have is Contempo, which is a gorgeous dusty rose pink. I absolutely love this shade. It was also featured in my ColourPop must-haves, and I believe this one has been added to the permanent line, but I'm not 100% sure. So for my skin tone personally, I would pass on Oh Snap, but I absolutely love the Contempo shade, and the matte finish Lippie sticks from ColourPop are my favorite. Here's a swatch of Oh Snap and Contempo. The next product is something I received from Influencer. It was the YSL Rouge Pure Couture lipsticks in the shade number 19 Le Fuchsia and number 9 Rose Stiletto. I no longer have those lipsticks. I have decluttered them and I gave them to my friend Jean. I do have an entire review video with swatches and lip swatches. I'll have that linked up here in case you want to check that out. Overall, those lipsticks are definitely not worth the money. I way prefer my drugstore lipsticks, even though I got those for free. I got rid of them because they were not special. The packaging, stunning. They had a lot of shades to choose from. I was glad that Influencer sent me a neutral shade and a bright shade to try out. The formula was very consistent. It was creamy, had a decent lasting power for being a cream finish lipstick. The main con for the lipsticks was the fragrance. Oh my gosh, it was such a strong floral fragrance that I could not handle at all. I'm very, very sensitive to scents, and that was disgusting. You could freaking taste it. So I had to get rid of them. No, thank you. And besides the scent, they're not that special. Definitely not worth the money. I feel like if you want a luxury lipstick because of the name and the packaging, sure. But if you're looking for an amazing, unique, out of this world formula, no. I found them very comparable to Revlon's Super Lustrous lipsticks, which are very, very inexpensive. They also come in a lot of great shades, so I would recommend those instead. I was glad I got to try them out and that they were for free, but not worth the money, not even close. And lastly were a bunch of products I was sent from Sleek. I have a couple different review videos. I will have them all linked down below because I think I've used up all my cards. The first thing was their Sleek Eyebrow Stylus in the shade medium. I don't have that one anymore. I do have a first impression, which I will have linked down below. That was a nice pencil. It was shaped at an angle like the Anastasia Brow Definer, Hourglass, and Benefit have brow pencils like that as well, but it was pretty thick. I think the Anastasia is at an angle, but it is thin. So if you have thin brows, I don't think that would work for you. I think it's just going to be a little too thick. The formula was really, really pigmented. It was long lasting, but I just prefer that really, really precise brow pencil. So I would definitely not purchase that again in the future. And then I had also tried out the shade Light, which was super duper red. That is definitely more for redheads. So Sleek does not have a shade that actually works for me anyway. The formula was nice, but I just prefer a more precise pencil. Next, I had a review on the Sleek Cream to Powder blushes. I did have two shades, Pink Peony, which I have decluttered, and also the shade French Rose. I have a review that will be linked down below. This color is so beautiful. This is the lightest shade in the range. I believe there are about 5 other colors, and they are crazy, intensely pigmented, bright colors. These are a really nice texture. I do like cream to powder. It works really well with my oily skin. If you have dry skin, I think it would be nice too, but it isn't going to be a glowy, dewy cream blush. These are nice. I don't reach for them very often because I don't use cream blush, but this is one of the best cream blush formulas that I've tried. So if you are interested in cream blushes, I would recommend them. This shade, absolutely. The other shades are a little too intense for me. You do really need to blend them out. You can get clown cheeks really easily, so I would definitely recommend French Rose. The others, I recommend with caution, depending on your skin tone and what brush you're going to use and the amount. Just be careful because they are really intense. For the next 3 products, I did just do one joint review video, which will be linked down below as well. I have the Sleek Eye Divine palette in the shade Storm, which has been raved about on YouTube for years and years. There are so many gorgeous colors in this palette. I basically did a 4 looks, 1 palette type of video, also reviewing those other products, which like I said is linked down below. And that idea is from Kristen Game. I think it is super duper helpful when trying to figure out whether a palette is really worth it for you, depending on how many different kinds of looks you can get with it. I love this palette. These two shades here, this shade, these here, so many gorgeous colors. This shade right here is an amazing matte tan, crease, and transition color. I wish there were a couple more mattes. There are these here, but they are a little bit deeper. These shadows are intensely pigmented and really great formula that's easy to work with. I would highly recommend these palettes in general, especially this shade, and I would definitely think about buying some more of these personally because they are such great formulas. Next, I had two of their Ooh La La liners. I had the shade Blue Moon, which is a navy, and Noir, which is a black. I haven't used these liners very much because I hardly ever use pencil liner. I have not found any pencil liner that lasts really well in my waterline, including these, so I do usually use them on the upper lash line if I use them, and they are super duper pigmented. So here's a swatch of Noir and Blue Moon. Blue Moon is amazing. What a stunning blue shade. If you do like pencil liners, these are really long lasting on the upper lash line. These liners are okay, nothing amazing, but I do love that Blue Moon shade. Then I had three of their True Color lipsticks, two in the sheen finish and one in the matte finish. The matte finish shade I had was in Papaya Punch, and this is a bright neon orange shade that I would never ever wear. I do not like orange lipsticks, and I was hoping that maybe this would get me out of my comfort zone, but I just couldn't do it. Orange looks so great on a lot of people, especially people with tan skin, but on me, no, too scary. Also, I did not like the matte formula of these whatsoever. They felt so thick and cakey on the lips. I did not like them at all. And then for the sheen finishes, I had the shade Succumb, which is a brownie nude. I didn't really like this color on my skin tone either. This was a much nicer formula. It did glide on really easily. It wasn't the most pigmented. It wasn't the most long lasting. It was just okay. The other shade I have is Cherry, which is also a sheen finish. Really pretty deep red color. But because it is a sheen finish, it is more sheer. It is comfortable, but it isn't the most long lasting. The sheen lipsticks are just okay. I would not really recommend them or go out and purchase them. There are so many other drugstore lipsticks that I way prefer over these. So guys, that was my Hit It or Quit It thoughts on hauls number 25. I would love to know your thoughts if you tried out any of these products. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.